先来看段内塔尼亚胡接受采访时的讲话。
Prime Minister, I know we don't have much time, so I do want to ask you about the future of Gaza. President Biden has made it clear to you that it would be a big mistake to occupy Gaza. Do you disagree with President Biden?
We want overall military responsibility to prevent the reemergence of terror. We're not seeking to occupy. That's not our goal. But our goal is to make sure that what happens there is different. To do that, we have to demilitarize Gaza, and we have to de-radicalize Gaza, just as you had to have a different future. You know, after the conquest of Germany, you de-radicalized, denazify Germany. After the conquest of Japan, you made sure that the aggressive policies of Imperial Japan are different. There was a cultural change. We need a cultural change here. We can't have a civilian administration enter Gaza that will not fight terrorists, that is committed to funding terrorists as opposed to fighting terrorists, that uses pay for slay, that teaches its children the way Hamas teaches its children. Israel has to be dissolved. That can't work. We can't go back to failed strategies. There has to be a different regime and a different future for Israelis and Palestinians alike. That's what will give hope to the Palestinians. We liberate them from Hamas, liberate them from this tyranny, give them a real future, and that requires the destruction of Hamas.
And move forward on a two-state solution.
And move forward to make sure you don't have a terrorist state. Make sure that you don't have a state that teaches its children that you have to destroy Israel. And I say, let the Palestinians have all the powers to govern themselves, but none of the powers to threaten Israel. And that means not only making sure that Gaza is demilitarized, but also that Gaza is de-radicalized. And if you ask me, we need a different civilian leadership than the one that has been offered to the Palestinians today.
Mr. Prime Minister, President Biden also says that extremist settlers attacking Palestinians in the West Bank is pouring gasoline on fire. Will you hold those settlers in the West Bank accountable for violence?
We hold anyone taking the law into their own hands or committing vigilante violence. That is out. We cannot accept that. I mean, that is, I've said that in Hebrew, I've said that in English, I've said that in broadcast, and I'm saying it to you again. I think I've said that to the community leaders in Judea and Samaria. And by the way, they agree with me because 99.9% of the settler community are law-abiding, solid citizens. They pay their taxes. They serve in the army. These are families that are law-abiding families. You have a tiny fraction, and most of them are teenagers that actually come outside of Judea, Samaria, and they should be held accountable. But I wouldn't make a false symmetry between the hundreds and hundreds of terrorist attacks, including just today, right at the outskirts of Jerusalem, of Hamas sympathizers and terrorists who come and shoot people, innocent people, and we take care to fight against them. So the degree of this extremist violence is tiny, but even a tiny amount is unacceptable to us. That's the difference. And you know how it's tested? Nora, this is it. This is the big one. I condemn these actions, but the Palestinian leadership, the Palestinian Authority leadership today, President Abbas, 40 days into this horror, the worst horrors perpetrated on Jews since the Holocaust, the rape and murder of women, the slaughter of children in front of their parents and parents in front of their children, the burning of babies, the beheading of women, he has yet to condemn it. I condemn any kind of violence that is perpetrated, any kind of extremist violence. He not only does not condemn it, but his officials laud it. That's the difference. There is no symmetry between Israel and its foes.
Mr. Prime Minister, I understand our time is up. I hope you will join us again on CBS. Thank you.
Thank you, Nora. Appreciate it.
我认为说得对，说得好，但是西方白左们又跳出来反对了，真是愚蠢至极。占领不是错，文明战胜野蛮不是好事儿吗？何况哈马斯不去杀人家平民，人家还懒得来占领你呢。难道被同族奴役、被哈马斯欲化就是人道吗？那样下去，对内是贫穷疾病，对外是恐怖威胁。作为哈马斯民众，被文明统治总比被野蛮虐待好吧？这不是耻辱，是进步。如果没这点智慧，那么自己的苦难就是在劫难逃。发自内心接受进步的地方，日本、德国、新加坡都富裕文明了，而那些非要赶走所谓侵略者、搞民主主义的，无一例外全部反贫变乱。日本人懂得，他们应该痛恨的是本国的军国主义，而不是美国人。他们真心感谢麦克阿瑟称其为国父。正因为有这样的智慧，日本人配得上后来的富裕文明。对于以色列来说，此次当然要除恶务尽，消除哈马斯这群卡脖子时就翻白眼的家伙，一松手又会变得猖獗起来。那么内塔尼亚胡改造巴勒斯坦地区的成功概率有多大呢？我认为只有50%。日本之所以走上富裕文明之路，一方面是美国的占领带来好的制度，另一个重要方面是日本人自己早已走上了学习探索之路。 明治维新时，他们就已经不再仅仅是购买机器设备，而是全面学习先进制度。而巴勒斯坦人呢？如果没有骨子里内在的觉醒，那么还会产生新的哈牛斯、哈吕斯。我是严小坏，让我们一起透过现象看本质。